잘 있어라 이 아파트. 오늘은 굉장히 저한테 의미 있는 날인 게 드디어 저의 집 사기 저니가 끝나는 날입니다. 와. 제가 계약서를 사인하고 거의 2달이 걸렸는데요. 그래서 오늘은 그 집 사기의 마지막 단계인 트랜스퍼 하는 단계예요. 그래서 여기서 오늘 무엇을 하냐? 돈을 제가 다 내고 낼 돈 다 내고 그 다음에 거기서 명의 이전을 해주고 제 이름으로 그래서 같이 돈 내러 떠나보아요.
For couples, if you go married, it's the same like 5,000. So what I'm thinking is if you got it engraved, but it's like
Love it.
can you see it?
Aww.
Your new home.
Thank you. Although it didn't happen today. 어이가 없네. 너무 빡치는 하루였는데 어쩔 수가 없잖아요. 누구의 탓도 아니고. 하지만 빡은 친다. 곧 있으면 못 볼 이 복도. I got my title deed transferred. So hello everyone, I am back after completing all the formalities for my new building. So I wanted to come on here and to share how I purchased my first ever property here in Dubai through a mortgage. So in my case, I bought a studio in Dubai with the price of 650,000 dirhams, and my sellers basically they did not buy the place on a mortgage, they bought it on off plan. So it was not a mortgage to mortgage transaction. So my experience might look a little different than perhaps what you're going through. Okay, so before I start, I'm going to answer maybe the most asked questions in regards to this is did you save up for your down payment? And the answer is yes. I did save up for my down payment for the past 3 years, mainly because I knew since the day I got here pretty much that I wanted to purchase something here in Dubai because the prices are relatively cheaper, only in some parts of Dubai though, compared to back home. So in my case, I knew I wanted to go for this building that I ended up buying So I went ahead and applied for the pre-approval, and in my case, it did take 2 weeks to be fully approved and finalized. So during the process, once you found your unit, you don't want yourself or the seller to wait for extra 2 weeks because it is already a lengthy process when you're buying through a mortgage. So I strongly suggest that you go for this pre-approval beforehand. So once you found a unit that you really like, what you will have to do is you will have to sign the Form F. This is the legal document and it is the final contract pretty much. They will also call this as MOU, shortened for Memorandum of Understanding. So basically, once you sign this document, you can't really back out. And if you do, for any unforeseen reasons, you will lose your 10% security deposit. This check is not cashable. They will end up returning back to you once you go through with all the formalities and have your title deed transferred under your name. They simply cannot cash this. They just hold on to it in case you back out and cancel the deal. So once you and the seller sign this MOU, your bank will want to have the signed copy of it to proceed with the mortgage. So in my case, I have to give the OCUD, which is like the initial contract that your seller has, and the floor plan of the unit and the building completion certificate and the handover notice and the signed MOU from the both parties. And they also ask for a copy of the passport of your seller. So once you hand over all these documents to your bank, they will go ahead and do the bank valuation. 근데 이 bank valuation이 중요한 이유는 the bank will only finance up to 80% of this valuated price. So you have to really keep in mind when you're budgeting, because you could end up in a situation where the valuator devalues your property, which happened in my case as well. So once this devaluation happens, you pretty much have to pay out of your pocket in addition to your 20% minimum down payment. So I ended up doing like 25% in down payment. 정확히 막 집값에 몇 프로가 필요합니다 라고 말하기가 좀 어려운 게, because this devaluation might happen and then you might have to pay a little bit more for your down payment. So in my case, with the 25% down payment and plus all the fees, I ended up paying about 32% of my purchasing price. So it really depends on your situation as well, but just to give you a heads up that the devaluation can happen. So once you get over with the valuation process and you decide on your tenure years for your mortgage, you will have to sign another form, another contract basically. You will have to sign the final offer letter from the bank. So after you sign the final offer letter, it's pretty much done. Everything's pretty much closed deal with your bank. I had to wait about a week from the date I signed to be scheduled for a transfer at a trustee's office. 이 transfer 하는 게 마지막 단계거든요. Basically, at the trustee's office, they will transfer the ownership of the title deed. So you will have your new title deed under your name. So that's pretty much a done deal from there. While you wait for your bank agent to schedule your appointment for the trustee's office, you have to go ahead and prepare the manager's check for your down payment payable to the seller. So another thing that I didn't mention is that you do have to pay your bank for the mortgage process. So I had to pay 2 fees in total towards my bank. In total, I paid, so one of the payment was the bank valuation fee. You do have to pay this before you get your place valuated, and this was a total of 2,500 dirhams. And also, when you sign your final offer letter, you do have to make another payment. And they call this a due diligence and documentation fee, which is basically they are charging you for reviewing your application for your mortgage and also for preparing the required documents. So this alone was 2,562 dirhams. So in the end, I paid 5,060 dirhams for doing all the required stuff for the mortgage. So basically what I did today was I went into the trustee's office for the final transfer. So you as a buyer will have to bring your Emirates ID, the manager's check for your down payment, and the payment method to pay off all your fees required to close the transaction. All the fees, by the way, including the Dubai Land Department registration fee, you can pay all that in either the manager's check or your cards, including the debit and credit cards. You can even do an Apple Pay on it. So I will give you a rundown of all the fees that I had to pay for my studio. So one of the big chunk of the fees that you would have to pay is the DLD, the Dubai Land Department registration fee, which is about 4% of your purchasing price. But at the office, they will combine 3 payments all together under the DLD registration fee. So one of them is the one that I just mentioned. Another fee is a mortgage registration fee, which I paid 1,240 dirhams. And there is another small fee for your title deed, which is 40 dirhams. So they combined all of the 3 payments together, and I paid 27,280 dirhams under the DLD. Yeah, so that was that. And there is another fee that you have to pay for the trustee's office, and it is a fixed fee at 4,200 dirhams. Yeah, so once you pay that 2 payments, basically you're done with everything, all the formalities that there is, and they will basically issue a new title deed under your name, and yeah, you're done from there. If you're buying with an agent, you do have to pay their commission, which is 2% of the purchasing price plus tax. So in my case, I paid 13,650 dirhams for the agent commission. So just in the fees alone, I ended up paying 45,130 dirhams just for the fees, including the agent commission. So it is quite a bit of money just for the fees that you potentially will not get back. So I would say you have to be really sure that you want to buy a place in Dubai, because the fees will cost you quite a bit of money as well. Yeah, so with the fees and the down payment that I did have to pay out of my pocket about 32% of my purchasing price. So I hope that you keep this in mind when you're budgeting for your apartment, so there are no big surprises later down the road.